Hey gang, AV here, and welcome to my review of the Predator 2 Invisible City Hunter by Hiya Toys. And here he is in the packaging. As you can see, there's a window box. Here's the front. There's the side. There's the back, which you can pause if you'd like to read. Here's the other back, or the other side. Here's the top. There's the bottom. And that's it for the box. So let's get them out of it. I've already cut the tape on mine. They are taped closed usually. Let's look at the stuff inside the box first. He has a card and he has a little booklet. Now the little booklet is just a single sheet and it just shows the other figures they have available. Two-sided. Trying to get the glare over there for you. And here is the card they came packaged with. As you can see, it's just a picture of the Predator. Not much to see there. He's in the shadows, it looks like. And here's the figure in a clamshell plastic tray. Not really a clamshell, I guess. It doesn't open that way, but you get the idea. Alright, let's have a look at the accessories first. Starting with his spear. Now, I don't expect you to see all the sculpted detail on this thing because it's transparent. But trust me, it's there. I have the regular City Hunter, the painted version. I'll do a video of that as well, and I will show off the detail on his various accessories a lot better in that video. So be on the lookout for that. That should drop very soon after this video does. So anyhow, that's his spear. Fully extended. He also has the collapsed version of his spear. Again, not much to see because it's transparent, but you get the idea. He has a skull, spine, and tailbone. Which is very well sculpted, as you can see with all the ridges on the spinal column and all the vertebrae and everything. His tailbone and everything. Very nice. It is missing a jaw, but this is basically one of his trophies, obviously. He comes with his throwing disc, which has a few holes in it to allow him to lace it between his fingers of his alternate hand. And there is a spot on him for him to store it as well. Let's see if I can demonstrate that later in the video. He has two grasping hands and then two open hands, which you can alternate. Very cool. And this one as well. This one's a little bit more opened. He comes with a base and two of these eye pegs, I like to call them, because they're kind of like capital eyes. Man, I always have a tough time getting... There it is. Getting that out of the tray. But anyway, base has some molded texture on it and a single foot peg, and these things plug into the side here so that you can connect the bases together for other figures that you may have and make a little diorama. Very cool. Very cool. It does work quite well. And here is the Predator himself, without further ado. Get the tray out of the way. This is that disc I was talking about earlier. Don't want to forget that. Not sure if you can see the detail on the figure itself. I'll try to zoom in a little. He has a lot of molded detail on him. It really stands out a lot better on the painted version, but this one does have a slight advantage not being painted, not only because he's stealth and just looks cool, but these are made in China, and Hiya toys, even though it's not a knockoff, it is made in China. The plastic is durable, but does have a tendency to be brittle when you first open it. So that, combined with their painting methods, sometimes their joints get pretty stiff. So you have to preheat the figures when you first get them to make sure that nothing breaks. I have had a couple mishaps with my Alien figures, but so far Predator figures seem to be pretty good. This one, no paint, and he was free moving right out of the box. So he has that advantage going for him right there. No preheating necessary with this guy. He came right out of the box, fully posable. No issues with his joints at all. He was great. So anyway, I couldn't see which way his elbow turned because he's see-through. But anyway, he's got a lot of really good detail. Even his legs. He's got that crisscross pattern on his legs. I'm not sure if you can see it. I'm not sure how well it's coming out in the video, but take my word for it. It is there. Now, before I go over his articulation, he's got one other weapon that you haven't seen yet, and that's his Gauntlet Knives, which we're all familiar with. We all remember seeing in the movies. And they do extend. Very cool. Very cool. And they just slide right back in there. Okay, let's go over his articulation. His dreadlocks do not hinder his articulation at all. They're very rubbery, and they snap back into position, which is awesome. Head does a full 360. Can look down really far and up slightly, but not too bad. His arms can do a full 360. They go up about that far. They're hindered by the shoulder armor, unfortunately. He does have a bicep swivel right up there at the shoulder. His elbow turns about 90 degrees. He has a swivel at the top of his gauntlet, and his wrist is on a ball joint, so it not only swivels, but it also rocks back and forth, up and down. You can obviously pop the hands off and plug in the new hands. They usually work very well. I haven't had any issues with mine. He has an ab crunch here right below his ribs. Works quite well. And also a swivel point for him. Nothing at the waist. His hips go out about that far. He can do the can about like that. He has a swivel at the top of his thigh. Okay, double jointed knees. So he can go back about that far. His ankles are also on a ball joint. So, oh no, wait, no, they're hinged. My bad. They rotate, can angle forward, and they can angle back. Very good articulation on these guys. One thing I actually forgot to mention is the City Hunter Predator also comes with a shoulder cannon, but this one does not. He has the track on his back to accommodate the shoulder cannon, but it was not in his tray of accessories, and it's not on the figure either, obviously. So that's unfortunate. I also forgot to mention too that it looks like his armor is a separate piece. It's not molded on. You could remove his armor if you wanted to. However, you may have to cut it off, or no, you'd have to remove his head and arms to get it off, but you wouldn't have to cut it off. Same with the weight, same with the belt. That is removable as well. Let's see if I can get his disc in here. This can be a little tricky. There are 2 pegs that you have to line up with the holes. It's easier said than done, and then even when you have it lined up, sometimes it just doesn't want to plug in. You have a very stiff disc here, and kind of a soft plastic for his belt. At least on this example. The other figure, it fits a little easier, but this one does fit, as you can see, but I wouldn't trust it. It could pop out a little too easily, for my opinion. He also has this, I forgot to mention. I'm all over the place with this video. I apologize. I had a long day at work. I'll blame it on that. How's that sound? So anyway, he has this. I guess, I don't know if that's like his animal skin flask, or I don't know. But it's on this silver string. It's the only part on him that isn't see-through. Very cool figure, though. Very cool figure. He does come with a base, but he stands up perfectly fine without it. Let's swap out some of his hands. See how well he holds his accessories here. No, not that one. See, he can hold things with the hands he has on, but they are a little too closed for his spear, for example. These hands are a little bit better suited for his trophy, which he can hold just fine. But you gotta swap the hand out if you want him to hold his spear. That plugs on there, just like that. Take the long spear, which you can see. He doesn't hold that great, but he can hold it. I mean, I guess I could put it in his other hand, but it would stretch his other hand out a little bit. Fits a little bit better in this one. And as far as his disc, I believe I could use it on this hand, but I think it's better suited on the other one. So let's plug his other hand on. There we go. That is a cool hand. Oh no, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it should go in this one. Yeah, I think it does. Yep. His fingers fit right in those holes. I take it back. It's meant to be in his right hand as well. See, there you go. Very cool figure. Very cool figure. Let's put his other hands back on. There we go. Stand him up. Stands up pretty well considering he comes with a base. Sometimes when they come with a base, they don't stand that well, but he does. I'll just get this other stuff back in the tray before I lose it. Understandably, they're invisible. But anyhow, just for size comparison, he is a 1/18 scale figure, and here is a modern G.I. Joe. As you can see, the Predator is noticeably taller than the Joe, obviously. And he should be. In the movies, the Predators are about 7.5 feet tall. They're huge. So he is true 1/18 scale. He's supposed to be massive, you know. Very good figure. Highly recommended. Very cool. If you have, if you're on my Instagram, I did post 1 or 2 pictures of him with the snake eyes and a couple diorama shots using this same building, as a matter of fact. And you have to really look close to see him. I mean, he does blend in quite well for just being a transparent figure. I mean, he is kind of stealthy. So, anyhow, this has been AV. This has been my review of the Predator 2 Invisible City Hunter. If you like this video, check out my channel. If you like what you see there, then please subscribe. As always, thanks for watching.